Hello, Mary. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Asita. Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I'm getting ready to pack up so that I can go down to Florida and attend the International Maxwell Conference. And I'm so excited to be able to record this lesson for everybody so that you have it first thing Monday. And
Oh,
I
and
will
I'm
be
so jealous. I'm so jealous. You're going. I'm not going.
I know, I try telling you, but hey, I will bring as much of it to you through the world
Please
of the cyber
take
world.
me with you. Please take me with you there.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
everyone here, I want you guys to check Mary's Facebook page because she's going to post a lot of great stuff from the International Maxwell Conference.
I plan to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so again, we're back with another session of Modern Attitudes with Mary and Azita. We're very happy that you're here and going to spend a few minutes with us. So, if Mary, you agree, I just want to give a very short summary of what we discussed last time. Would that be okay?
Oh, absolutely, because we probably have new viewers.
I hope so. So we discussed the fact that we need to grow our core and mindset because only then we can support and sustain our growth in other aspects in life, such as professional, financial, relationships. You get the idea. So we discussed the fact that we have to be intentional in life, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to have our own customized personal growth plan. But this today, we want to share with you how awareness and knowing who we are and finding our way and purpose is the first step and the map to get us where we want to be. So knowing ourselves and what we want to do is one of the most important things we will ever do in life, Mary.
It absolutely is. Too often we don't take the time to really examine who we are and why we exist. We're always told there's a purpose, you have a purpose, but we don't know what our purpose is. So we walk around aimlessly wondering, well, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? So the law of awareness, it is my favorite law. It's one of my favorite laws. Because it really focuses on self-awareness. We're aware of our surroundings, we're aware of the weather, we're aware of our financial status, but are we self-aware? And being self-aware basically means that you're conscious and you understand where you have been and why, where you are and why, and where you're going and why. See how the law of awareness builds on the law of intentionality? Just last week, I was telling everybody that for me to understand intentionality, I had to look at it from the perspective of why. Why did I want to reclaim my health? So let me ask you this. Have you ever just sat down and really examined your life and the person you are?
Mary, are you asking me?
I'm asking everybody. I'm asking you. I'm asking our viewers. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Okay, I really like to answer this question. To be honest with you, for many years I thought I knew my purpose. I knew who I was, but I made a lot of wrong decisions. And it was until, I would say probably 2 years ago, that I realized that, no, I really don't know myself. I really don't know myself. And so I chose to have this practice of going really deep and trying to understand who I really am and what I really, really, really want. And I made a decision, and now I know what my purpose is. So going back to your question, I didn't know it for a very long time, to be honest. I thought I knew, but I didn't.
Yeah. That's awesome. I did this about 6 years ago. I went on my own eat, pray, love journey, but not much praying, not much loving. I went through a very, very ugly divorce after being married for 22 years. I had a lot of work issues. I had children, adult children that had lost their ever-loving mind. And I tell you what, I fully understood what it meant when they say in the wild, the mothers eat their young, because I would all three of them if I could have. So what I did instead, I took off. As my son called it, he said, I call him my gentle giant. He said, my mama's flying the coop. Because normally it's the children that fly the coop. Nope, not me. I went to the other side of the world to get away from everything and everybody.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of eating. There's no doubt about that. That food in Germany was phenomenal. And I did a lot of sleeping. But I
Oh, give
also
yourself some credit, my friend. That's a survival mode.
it is. And it was awesome because that's when I started studying John's materials. And in the law of awareness, it's about knowing yourself to grow yourself. It took for me to learn what I liked, what I enjoyed, what I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to have in order for me to grow. It's about learning from the past, learning from the present, and then using what I learned to make different and better choices moving forward.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's all about self-discovery, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
You said it really well. I believe to reach our potential, the first question we need to ask ourselves is, what I'm really good at and where I'm now and where I want to be. Where am I now?
Yeah.
And to know ourselves, we first have to ask ourselves, where are my strengths and where are my weaknesses? But I more ask myself, how to find my strengths. Where is my passion? And we need to realize that, we need to pay attention to our passion, because our passion will lead us to our potential.
Absolutely.
And nowadays they're teaching teachers and students to always look for the strengths, not for the weaknesses, because that's what we want to build on. That's what we want to develop. Because when we build on our strength, that's going to compensate for our weaknesses.
But I think teachers set kids up when they ask them, what are your weaknesses? I just never liked that word. I've never, ever liked that word. What are your weaknesses? Well, no, what are my weaknesses?
Absolutely. So no, I mean, we need to kind of strengthen those, but that's not going to be our focus. Our focus is our strength, our passion. And that's going to take us to our potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's a proven fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you this question of you, Mariana, of our viewers. Do you like what you're doing now?
Now, absolutely, hands down, I love what I do. I bring value to other people. I am helping to create a kinder, gentler, and more compassionate world, which is what I ultimately want to do.
So, see, for you is a resounding yes. So I would say, Mary, stick with it, do it, but get good at it. Learn more and more about what you're doing and get better at it. But stick with it, because you found your purpose, you found your strength.
I did.
And you know what you want to do. And I would probably say you are loving what you do, most likely because you are also good at it. I would say there is a correlation between these two.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. But let me say, if you, for example, say you don't like what you do, the first thing you should do, really sit down and ask yourself, what is it that I really want to do? What do I love to do? Don't think about the society, what other people are telling you. Don't about the job you're doing. Just ask yourself, heart to heart, this question. What is it that I love to do? If I'm not even getting paid, I will still do it. This is going to give you some indications of who you really are. That's where my heart is. So it's so important to ask that question of ourselves. Okay? Let me tell you something. I chose to go to a CMA program, Certified Management Accountant, a few years ago. And I spent almost 2 years. I finished the first part of that program. I did pass the national entry exam, which was very, very difficult. But I realized that I could never be a good accountant. I didn't like to crunch numbers, and I wasn't good at it. And why I did make that decision, solely because the society was telling me, this is a good job, and has good future, and you make a lot of money doing it. That's why I make that decision. But was a wrong decision, completely wrong, Mary. And so this takes me to ask you another question, Mary, and our viewers. What is the motive beyond what you want to do, you love to do? Why do you want to do what you want to do? Because if the
My
motive is
motive,
not the right motive, you're not going to be successful.
my motive for doing what I do is because I really am very passionate about people having a voice, about people being treated with respect and kindness. Like, I just have this desire to create a kinder, gentler, and more compassionate world. There are too many people that suffer at the hands of other people because they're stuck in those conditions and circumstances. I mean, even for you, you did your CMA and you found that you didn't like it. Did you do it because you were following the footsteps of your parents? Because most of the time, you know, we fall in line with what other people want us to do, what they expect us to do,
It's funny
instead of
you're
allowing
asking.
us to have that choice to pick what we want to do.
Yes,
And
Mary.
for my, like, for example, with my grandchildren, there, just recently started this with the last two that came into the world. I sing them a little jingle because I want them to understand that they can be anything and everything that they want to be. Because when we're children, what do we ask? What do you want to be when you grow up? And most of the little boys will say, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. And the little girls, oh, I want to be a ballerina. You know, they don't say, I want to grow up to be a housewife. You know, the boys don't grow up to say, well, I just want to be a husband. You know, they don't say any of that. They think careers and these exciting professions. And for my grandchildren, I sing them this little jingle that, you know, forgive my voice because I'm not the greatest singer, but my grandchildren love this jingle, and that's all that matters to me. And it goes along the lines of, what you gonna be when you get all big? What you gonna be when you get all big? Are you gonna be an astronaut? Are you gonna be an engineer? Are you gonna be an optometrist? And I just pick professions from
So cute.
whatever I can find, just so that I can plant that seed early on. And I have a friend who is a financial planner, loves being a financial planner, doesn't like people much. And she'll tell you, I don't really like people, but she says, numbers don't lie, people do. And the first time I heard her say that, I was like, that's interesting. But the more I started observing behaviors and actions of other people, the more I realized she was absolutely right. So I can respect where you're coming from with, you know, this wasn't for me. I'm a people person because people lie, numbers don't. And so as you're looking at the finances and you're doing all of that, you're like, yeah, you're deluding yourself.
That's very true. For me, people lie, yes, numbers don't, but people have emotions, have sentiments,
Absolutely.
but numbers don't. I think
Mhm.
that's exactly what matters to you, Mary. That's why you want to be with people.
Absolutely. I think it's important though for people to understand that they can change the trajectory of their life.
Mhm.
Um, it starts with them writing their own narrative, kind of like what I talked about last week. If people ask themselves if they're satisfied with where they're at now and if they like how they're doing things now, and they really take the time to answer that question honestly, like dig deep like an iceberg. You know, an iceberg is so high up, but deep down it's rooted really deep into the water. That's how deep people have to go to be able to honestly answer that.
Very true.
Most of the time, we're going to say no.
Mhm.
I'm not happy where I'm at. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I'm not happy with where my life is headed, but they don't want to do anything about it. And
Yes.
a lot of it, it's because they're afraid. They're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of failing because let's face it, none of us want to be a failure. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to change. And most importantly, we don't want to risk anything. And because if you risk something, everything could crumble. And then what? You have to start all over again.
Or maybe
Um,
if you don't take risks, we're not going to have anything in our life
that's
that
right.
turns into success. Imagine you're home and you're not doing anything else. You're not going outside. You don't get to
Mhm.
see people. You don't get to talk to people. Nothing will happen in your life.
Absolutely.
You have to learn to take risks. And some of us are risk averse, and some of us
Mhm.
love to take risks. So it goes all back to who you really are.
Mhm.
When choosing on a career or something in your life, always go back, as you said, go really deep
Mhm.
and ask these questions from yourself, not other people,
Yep.
from your own self, heart to heart.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, finding out really what we're good at and developing it is one thing. But also, I think, Mary, having an action plan to implement that, to be
Mhm.
consistent, and to doing it on a daily basis is also as important. I think we were frozen for a second. So let me just repeat that. I think knowing what we're good at and what we love and developing it is amazing, but we also need
Absolutely.
to have the action plans to take it from
Absolutely.
here to there. It has to be consistent. We have to work at it, and we have to, as you said, take risks.
Mhm.
Whatever it takes,
Mhm.
whatever it takes that takes you there. You have to have that
Absolutely.
mentality. I'm agreed that you talked about risk. That's very true.
Mhm.
And I believe one of the fastest ways to get where we want to be is to find people that are doing what we want to do, and they're really good at it. They're excellent at it. See, me and you both, we have mentors and coaches. They're
Mhm.
excellent at what they do. I mean, they're the best in the world, I would say, but they have their own mentors and coaches. They
Mhm.
pay tons of money. They invest in themselves because
Mhm.
they realize investing in themselves has the highest return on their investment. The highest
Mhm.
return. You can't go wrong by investing in yourself, Mary.
Mhm.
So yeah, um, and as John says, um, when you nothing compares to doing what you're born to do, because there are two great days in a person's life, as he says. He always
Yes.
repeats that: the day you were born and the day you discover why.
Absolutely. And when we discover why, it's because we know that we all have a responsibility to ourselves and to our legacy in order to reach our full potential. And the only way to do that is to act, change, improve, and grow from where we've been, where we are, and where we want to be in the future.
Absolutely.
As I went through my journey, and one of the things that I fell in love about John's way of making me think was he identified three kinds of people when it comes to having a direction in life. Too often we're driving down the road, we know where we're going. We have the GPS system, we have this, we have that, but there's really no GPS for your life out there. And so he said that there are those that are confused. They're the ones that, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I'd like to do. I'm just here for the ride of my life. Then there's those that are frustrated. They know what they want to do, but they don't do anything to make it happen because, again, fear drives them. And then there's that third purpose, the third person, the purposeful person. They're the ones that want to do what they set out to do. And this is the person that I am today.
Yes, you
I
are.
started out confused in life. I've been through the frustration part, but now at this stage in my life, I have become very purposeful. I know what I want to do, and I'm doing everything I have to do. I'm taking those risks. I'm investing in myself. I'm betting on myself. So I
Yes.
have to ask our viewers and you, Azita, which one are you?
That's a very good question. It's by reflection that we turn our experience
Oh,
in
yes.
insight. So I'm so glad that you mentioned this, because we all have to really go deep and think about what we ask, these questions, the
Mhm.
questions that we just asked. Because, you know, It's only us that know the question. Nobody else. Nobody else can answer these questions for us. Not the society, not what good job is out there. Nobody else. Not our parents, not our husbands, our wives. It's just us. It's just an heart-to-heart conversation. So I'm asking our viewers and you, Mary, think about these questions that we just asked, and just go deep and ask yourself, do you like what you do? Do you like what you do? Is that who you are? If not, there's always a way to change that trajectory, as Mary said. There's always a way to do it.
Absolutely.
Mary, do you want to say something before we say goodbye?
I just want to thank everybody for listening to us and participating in our discussions. And I just have to reiterate how excited I am that I'll be at the International Maxwell Certification next week. I'll be there until Friday the 10th. I'll fly back to Alaska. So please make sure you check the Facebook page, because I will be posting tidbits and any information that I glean that I know will bring an enormous amount of wealth to your life, in helping you to become the person that you want to be, so that you can reach that future that you have in mind for yourself. So thank you so much for following us. We really appreciate it.
I'll be with you the whole week for sure. So next week we talk about the law of the mirror. Okay. Yep. And so for now, we wish you a very wonderful week, and until next time.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.